Siyansh, that is my baby girl.
Baby, let's go. He is my man, even though he ugly. Now ugly I go chop.
In the village of Umudike, beauty was a blessing. Girls with smooth skin and long necks were admired. Mothers prayed their daughters would grow fair and tall. Fathers smiled proudly when people pointed at their daughters and said, "This one is fine." But beauty in Umudike came with a price. Every year, one beautiful girl disappeared. Not by force, not by kidnapping, by marriage. And every time, it was to the same man. His name was Begbe. Bege was a dwarf. Not the playful kind children laughed at in stories. He was short, twisted, and ugly. His back was bent forward permanently, like something heavy pressed on it from birth. One shoulder was higher than the other, and his neck seemed swallowed by his body. His face frightened people. His eyes were too big and too open, as if sleep had rejected them. They were always wet, always watching. When he smiled, his lips pulled sideways, revealing teeth that looked too sharp for a human mouth. People avoided his path. Children ran indoors when he passed. Animals went silent around him. Yet, he was rich. Nobody knew his work. Nobody knew his house. But he paid heavy bride price instantly. The first girl was Adana. She was the pride of Mudiki. Tall, light-skinned, soft-spoken. When Gwibe came to ask for her hand, laughter filled the compound. Is he marrying her or adopting her? Can he even reach her face? Her parents chased him away. That night, Adana screamed. By morning, she could not speak. She stared at the wall and smiled for no reason. On the third day, she stood up, dressed herself in red cloth, and said calmly, "I am marrying Begbe." No tears, no fear. The wedding happened quietly. After that, Adana was never seen again. Then came Ngozi, then Sadia, then Ifunania. Always the most beautiful girls. Always after Bebe visited and was rejected. Always after sudden sickness. Always after strange dreams. Some parents accepted him immediately out of fear. Others resisted. Those ones cried the most. The village elders warned the people. "Do not talk too much," they said. "Some things are older than this village." But whispers spread. Why did Begbe never bring his wives to festivals? Why did no child ever come from those marriages? Why did the girls leave smiling and never returned? Now it was the turn of Zainab. Zainab was beautiful, but she was also observant. She noticed how Bebe's shadow stretched longer than his body, how flies followed him but never landed, how he never removed his cap even under the sun. When her father mentioned his name at dinner, her chest tightened. That night, Zainab dreamt of a dark forest. Drums beat slowly. Women stood in rows dressed as brides. Their backs were bent. Their mouths were sealed with black thread. When she woke, she found mud on her feet. She had not left her room. Outside, a knock sounded at the door. 3 slow knocks. Her mother whispered in fear, "Zainab, Bebe has come." Nobody in Umudike ever said no to Begbe twice. Zainab tried. The morning after Begbe knocked on their door, her father cleared his throat and spoke carefully. "My daughter is not ready for marriage," he said. Begbe tilted his head slowly. The movement was wrong, like bones grinding inside his neck. He smiled. "I will return," he said. That was all. He turned and walked away, his haunch rising and falling as if something inside it was breathing. That night, Zainab fell sick. It started with heat in her chest. Then her head began to pound. By midnight, she was shaking violently. She kept whispering names her mother did not recognize. Her eyes were open, but she was not seeing anyone in the room. "She is dreaming," her aunt said. But Zainab was wide awake. She could see the forest. In the forest, the air smelled rotten. A tall figure stood in front of her, not bent, not short, straight, wide, powerful. At his feet knelt women, beautiful women, all of them bent forward, their backs forced into painful curves. Black threads sealed their mouths. Tears rolled down their cheeks silently. Zainab tried to scream. Nothing came out. Then the figure spoke, but the voice was Bigbe's. You refuse me, it said. You refuse yourself. Zainab woke up choking. Her mother screamed. Zainab's back was bending, slowly, her spine curved forward like it was being pressed by unseen hands. They rushed her to the village herbalist. The old woman took one look at her and stepped back. This sickness is not for me, she said. This one has already been chosen. That evening, another girl disappeared. Her slippers were found facing the forest shrine. The elders gathered in secret. One of them finally spoke the truth nobody wanted to hear. Bigbe is not the husband, he said. He is the gate. Silence filled the room. A gate to what? Someone asked. The elder swallowed. To something that feeds on beauty and bends what it takes. At midnight, Zainab felt her feet touch the ground. She had not stood up. Her body was walking on its own. Outside, the forest breathed, and waiting at its edge was Bigbe. This time, he did not smile. The forest was colder than night should be. Zainab walked barefoot, her feet bleeding, but she felt no pain. Her body was not hers anymore. Something guided her, pulling her forward gently, patiently. Ahead, Bigbe walked without a sound. No limp, no struggle, no hunch. His shadow, however, was different. Tall, broad, horned. They reached the shrine. It was old, older than Umudike itself. Stones covered in dried blood circled a massive tree whose roots rose above the ground like trapped snakes. Hanging from the branches were wedding beads, torn veils, broken bangles. Zainab's heart screamed. Women stood around the tree, dozens of them, all beautiful, all bent forward, all silent, their backs curved unnaturally, like something heavy sat on their shoulders. Zainab recognized them. Adana, Ngozi, Sadia, Ifunaya. Their eyes moved. They saw her. Tears fell, but their mouths remained sealed with black thread. Bigbe stepped into the center. Slowly, his body began to change. His haunch cracked open. Bones shifted. Skin tore. Something rose out of him. Tall, black, faceless. Bigbe fell to the ground like an empty cloth. That body is only a carrier, the thing said. I am what they marry. Zainab shook violently. Why us? She whispered. The thing turned. Beauty feeds me, it said, and fear keeps me alive. The women began to kneel. Their spines bent further, deeper. Zainab felt the pressure on her own back increase. You will join them, the thing said, unless another takes your place. Zainab screamed. For the first time, sound escaped her mouth. The tree shook. The black threads on the women's mouths snapped. Their cries filled the forest, and far away in Umudike, roosters crowed. The forest was screaming. Women cried. Trees shook. The shrine cracked, as if the earth itself was tired of keeping secrets. Zainab fell to her knees. The black thing stood still, watching. You cannot kill me, it said calmly. I am older than this village. Zainab's tears dropped onto the soil. I don't need to kill you, she whispered. I just need to close the gate. The women looked at her. For the first time, Hope flickered in their eyes. One of the brides, Adana, stepped forward. Her back was bent beyond pain, but her eyes were clear. "There is only one way," she said, her voice shaking. "A living bride must take the place of the gate." Zainab understood. If she stayed, the others would go free. If she left, the curse would continue. The sky began to change color. Dawn was coming. The thing roared, "You belong to me." Zainab stood up. She walked to the tree. As she touched its roots, the ground burned her skin. The pressure on her back vanished, then returned, heavier than before. The women screamed. "No!" they cried. Zainab smiled sadly. "Go home," she said. "Let them remember you alive." The black thing shrieked as light broke through the forest. Its body cracked. The tree split in two. A wind rushed through Mudike. At sunrise, the women were found at the village square, weak, scarred, alive. Their backs slowly straightened over time. Bigbe's body was found near the shrine, small, empty, rotting. Zainab was never found. But sometimes, just before dawn, villagers say they see a straight shadow standing near the old tree stump, watching, guarding, waiting.